Phil Spencer talks Xbox Game Pass price increase, as well as wanting to make future Bethesda games and Call of Duty and WoW some of the most played games ever. And we have some information about Assassin's Creed. Welcome back to another video, guys. If you enjoy daily content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. So the other day, Stephen Totilo of Axios did an interview with Phil Spencer, and there was lots of interesting information on that. I actually talked about it in the previous video, but he left out some information where he went over here on Twitter, and Phil Spencer talks about a couple of interesting things, such as the Xbox Game Pass pricing and the overall strategy and goal of Xbox and wanting to make games like World of Warcraft and Starfield more played than ever before. So firstly, as we know, with the Xbox strategy, one of the big things they're looking at is their player count and how can they increase their player count. One of the ways they do it is with their ecosystem, allowing people to play across multiple devices. We look at Halo and we look at Forza Horizon 5, and both of those games had really good numbers after launch. For example, Halo Infinite reaching 20 million players and Forza Horizon 5 reaching 18 plus million players. So huge successes in terms of player counts with both of those games. And then we look at Psychonauts 2, for example, as well, was a huge success, as way more people played Psychonauts 2 versus Psychonauts 1. And Phil Spencer comments on this saying, I love Forza 5 and Halo stats. I love how many people played Psychonauts 2 versus Psychonauts 1. So when I look at the teams, when Todd and I talk about Starfield, it's how do we make sure this is the most played Todd Howard game ever? Now, this is going to be a difficult thing, as mentioned here, because obviously Skyrim is a Todd Howard game and we know how many people played that, but that was over a span of over 10 years. So maybe Starfield will last that long, but I do think there is a chance that it can match Skyrim, if not even potentially beat it, depending on what happens with this game and how many people are into it and how well it does in terms of reviews and all that type of stuff. Although it isn't on PlayStation, you can't really ever discount the power of a Todd Howard Bethesda game and the PC market and the amount of people that are going to be jumping in on PC, plus going out and picking up an Xbox Series X or S to play it. Now, Phil Spencer also talks about World of Warcraft and Call of Duty, and specifically says, yeah, I want more people to be playing WoW in 5 years than that are playing today. I want more people to be playing Call of Duty in 5 years, more people to be playing Candy Crush in 5 years, because we've made it more accessible to more people. And this is an interesting quote, especially on the wake of the announcement yesterday from Microsoft with the Activision Blizzard deal and them announcing that they are going to be keeping Call of Duty with the existing agreements, as well as future Call of Duties on the PlayStation platform. And when you hear Phil Spencer saying these types of things, it kind of all makes sense. I think that they believe with a game like Call of Duty, with it being so big and having already such an established base of people, they want more people to be playing in the long run, so keeping it on PlayStation makes the most sense. Now, when you think about Xbox Game Pass, the policies, and how consumer friendly Xbox has turned, I can completely understand why some people are skeptical of it, because Xbox is a massive corporation and the goals of corporations are to make as much money as possible. They're running a business at the end of the day. They're not there as a charity. So people are definitely skeptical of it. And this was a question that was asked. Phil Spencer says here, well, that specific question of, hey, there's only one place that I want to play games, and if that game doesn't end up on the one place that I want to play that has its own business requirements for me as a creator, those people can go play those games. And I guess what he's kind of trying to say there, because it is sort of confusing, is that they are still giving people the opportunity to play a game like Starfield if they choose to, even if it's not on PlayStation. They just obviously have to get into the Xbox ecosystem. So although the Microsoft policies, I think, are extremely consumer friendly, there is still the need to have competition. And a game like Starfield, keeping it to the Xbox ecosystem, is a sign that Xbox is still a business and still needs to compete in some way. And they're going to do what is best for Microsoft and what is best for Xbox. They're not going to make decisions completely out of charity and put a game on PlayStation like Starfield if there isn't enough upside, there isn't enough return on investment they believe that they can get from doing that. Because I think with a game like Starfield that doesn't have a established fan base yet, because it is a brand new IP. I guess you could argue that there are the Todd Howard fans as the established fan base. It isn't something that they are going to have to get people off of where they're currently playing that game to come to Xbox. So it's an easier proposition for somebody out there who, with a brand new IP, if they never played it and they know that the only way to play it is to get into the Xbox ecosystem, I think that increases their chances of signing up to Xbox Game Pass. And he kind of talks on this here saying, I see people tweeting at me, hey, there's nothing altruistic about Phil Spencer. I don't know if I'd say there's nothing. I have a vision about the role that video games can play, but I am in charge of running a business inside of a publicly traded company. And that's one thing I think people always forget, especially ones that get into these console wars, is that these companies at the end of the day don't care about you. I mean, they can be consumer friendly, but if you stop paying into their ecosystem, you stop giving them money from your wallet, they're going to move on and try to find somebody else who will. And then continues here to say, I think people point out it's just a suit or somebody who's running a business. I'm absolutely running a business. My responsibility, the teams, is I'm going to continue to run a good business so this company continues to support us. I think that's a primary responsibility. Now, finally here, the pricing of Game Pass. I think there is a lot of speculation that once Activision Blizzard goes through, or maybe even before that, who knows, the pricing of Xbox Game Pass has to go up because there's just too much value for what we're playing. You always see those jokes out there where people think they're literally stealing the games because you're paying $10 a month and you're getting access to just such a huge library of incredible games. And it looks like that may not exactly be the case. As Phil Spencer says here, I feel like I can't prove this negative. People ask, when is the Game Pass price is going to be going up? They're buying all these studios. You know it's inevitable. Even though it's been, what, now 4 years, we haven't raised it. And he's implying that you're seeing all this stuff happening. The price hasn't increased, so it probably isn't going to increase going forward. And I guess they have the correct pricing for meeting all of their business goals. Now, obviously, I don't know if Phil Spencer is going to be making the final call on this at the end of the day. Maybe Nadella will be making a call on this after he sees the amount of people subscribing, all of the IPs and value that they're adding with the Activision Blizzard deal, and thinking, hey, we can get more money if we increase the subscription by $5 a month, and there won't be too much backlash. I mean, I know for myself personally, if they increase it $5 a month, I would still be buying it. I mean, it's that good of a service, and I think a lot of people would still be buying it. I hope they don't ever increase it though, because it's just crazy what we're paying right now for the content that we're getting. But from this quote here, it sounds like, hey, we may never see a price increase, or we won't see one at least for a long time. And finally, to end things off here, he also talks about exclusivity and the Forza and Halo stuff, and the proofs in the pudding with Forza and Halo, how more people are playing those franchises ever than before because there are more screens that are available, as he mentioned above. But it talks also saying this, but it's like, you know, it's coming when they are number one. They're going to start doing all those exclusive deals that, like, you know, Xbox has history, and all I can do is make the decisions that are in front of us and try to be explicit about what our goals are. And then Stephen Totilo tweets out here, folks, if you did a double take when he said they won't do exclusive deals, me too, but we already went down that road higher in the thread. So that's extremely interesting, especially again after what we heard yesterday about the Activision Blizzard deal. Xbox isn't focused on exclusivity, or at least console exclusivity. They're focused on ecosystem exclusivity and getting as many people into their subscription model, which makes a ton of sense. And console exclusivity has always been and will always be just a marketing ploy to push the boxes forward. But we're in a completely changing industry, a completely different industry, where console exclusivity, I personally don't believe, is going to make you on top of the video game market. And we're seeing the industry shift, especially what we saw last week as well with Jim Ryan saying PlayStation is starting to go beyond consoles. All right, moving over here to Assassin's Creed. Now, Assassin's Creed has had a long running history. It's changed up its formula with starting off with the more stealth action oriented style of gameplay. And then the last 3 Assassin's Creed have been these massive open world RPGs. I personally love like both styles of games. I've loved the series from the beginning. I love the stealth action with the older ones, and I really have enjoyed the last 3 open world styles of Assassin's Creed games. Some people think they're way too big, but I don't know, I love them. I get hooked when I jump in, and I love just like the overall worlds and the recreation that they do with the worlds. It's pretty amazing in my opinion. But it looks like they are going to be moving back to a stealth focused Assassin's Creed game. So from a report from Bloomberg, they started making another expansion to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and they are deciding to just kind of create its own standalone game from this, which will be more stealth focused and more like the older Assassin's Creed games, and it will star Basim from Assassin's Creed Valhalla and will launch either later in 2022 or sometime in 2023. Now, we know that there is also another huge expansion coming to Assassin's Creed Valhalla besides this, with the Dawn of Ragnarok, which is supposed to be like 30 hours or something, which is crazy to think about how they're adding another 30 hours to a game that's already just insanely big and long. But I'm all for it. I'm all for more content for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And then after Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I guess this new standalone game, we've heard about Assassin's Creed Affinity, which is going to be just a insanely big game, or a platform for the Assassin's Creed formula. Now, Assassin's Creed Infinity is the one that I'm more interested in to see what they do with it. I hope they don't turn this into some kind of like games as a service where you have to log in every single day and just do mundane tasks. I hope it's more with a storyline and a story base, and this is just a platform where they continue to add on new characters, new locations, new storylines, like they're doing with all the DLC for Valhalla. And I think they've said that that's what they are going to be going towards with Assassin's Creed Infinity. They're just kind of creating this one large platform, so I guess they're not going to be releasing a brand new game every single year. Anyways, guys, that's it for me. Let me know what you think about Phil Spencer's comments on Game Pass pricing, as well as trying to get more people to play a game like Starfield and WoW than ever before. And let me know what you think about the upcoming Assassin's Creed game and it going back to a stealth action based type of gameplay. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here, you enjoyed what you saw, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for your support. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.